Welcome to the SLP Business Podcast. The SLP Business Podcast. The SLP Business Podcast. I'm so excited to dive in and talk to you today. We're talking about the hustle, and it has to do with confidence. It's just about that ability to connect with clients. All right, ready? Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the SLP Business Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about 3 areas that I love to overdeliver in business. So who's ready to learn about why it's important to overdeliver and what you should be overdelivering in? Okay, I can't see you guys, but raise your hands. All right, so when you think about your business is not just a tool for you as a business owner. It's also a tool for your clients. It's a tool for the people that you hire. And so over-delivering is a part of serving. And it means that you are serving to the highest capacity that you can to make sure that people are happy, right? And we want to keep our therapists happy and we want to keep our clients happy. So how do we do that? So first, let's talk about the importance of over-delivering. And when I say over-delivering, what I'm talking about is giving someone the value that they should be receiving, right? It's about giving them beyond the bare minimum. Some of the benefits of over-delivering include things like increased customer satisfaction, right? People feeling really happy that they decided to work with you and feeling satisfied with the services that you delivered. Also, loyalty, right? We want people to come back and we want people to refer other people and stay with us, right? And then we have those word of mouth referrals. And those word of mouth referrals come to us because of the excellence in the services that we provide. So my personal philosophy is that you should try to over deliver in any area that you can in your business, but pick at least 3 areas that you're going to be really good at as a business owner. So let's talk about the 3 areas where I like to over deliver in business. The first one is customer service. I already kind of touched on this, but customer service is so important if you run a service-based business, right? It's called a service because you are providing something to a client or a customer, and it's something that you are providing to serve them. So this service should be a service that is delivered in excellence, right? You want people to feel like, wow, this person really solved my problem. Wow, this person really cares. In our context, right, for private practice, our customer service starts from the moment someone calls and asks us if we have availability to serve their child. The way that you answer the phone, the way that you respond to any questions that they might have in that initial phone call, right? It also is some of the things that are intangible or that you really don't think about. So how long are they waiting to get a response from you or your team members, right? What does that initial evaluation experience look like? Are you educating them about what to expect in an evaluation if their child has never been evaluated before? So that customer experience plays a huge role when it comes to the success in your business overall, right? That customer service experience is what brings in the clients that you didn't even go out and seek. Because when you over deliver in that area, those people are going to refer their friends and you're just going to keep building more and more referrals and more trust in your community. And that's what successful businesses have that a lot of people don't realize is that they have the trust of the people that they do business with and the people that eventually will do business with them. It starts with that initial trust. Okay. So I over deliver in customer service so that I can build the trust of clients and potential clients. And also so that I can live up to what it is that we said we're going to do, right? At my practice, our mission statement is to provide quality services. It's in our mission statement that we will provide quality care and that we will use evidence-based practices. So in order for us to do that, we have to have good customer service. That's a part of quality care. It's not just the therapy. It's also what happens before they even step foot in our treatment room. So how you can measure if you are delivering exceptional customer service is by giving your clients a survey. You can put together a short survey, maybe 10 questions, where you ask them what their experience is like. And don't just ask them about their interactions with the therapist that they're working with. Ask them, how was their onboarding experience coming into your practice as a new client? How is the experience when it comes to communication? Do they feel like they're getting enough communication about what's happening, not just in their child's therapy sessions, but what is happening in the business, right? What's happening in the practice? So for example, we send out monthly newsletters to all of our clients. That's a way for us to keep that communication going, even though our clients are not going to be necessarily seeing, my face or our clinical director's face. They may interact with us via email, but we have our newsletter to help them stay informed and to know what is going on in the business, right? So maybe if you sent out a survey, you could collect some data to find out what that customer service experience is like for your clients, and then try to improve and over deliver on that. So if someone were to say, well, I really don't feel like I'm getting, as much communication as I would like. Okay, well, how can you improve that experience? How can you over deliver? Maybe you can start providing a newsletter, like I said, or you can start doing weekly check-ins with the client before a therapy session, talking about the progress and the goals and the things that you're working on. So there are ways to improve, but first we have to have the data on how we're currently doing. All right. So the second area where I like to over deliver in business is the quality of the services. Now, that can be a little tricky, especially if you've built out a team, because you cannot control how everybody provides services, right? And how everybody's therapy sessions or what they look like. But what I like to do is I like to, first of all, model and show people what that should look like. So if I hire a new therapist, we are showing them examples of what good SOAP notes look like. We are sharing with them things that are appropriate or inappropriate to use in terms of evidence-based practices, right? So you need to inform and educate. And then, once you've taught your team members what you want therapy to look like, well, then you can help them with some of the more technical aspects. But a lot of it is just, showing people and modeling to them what it is that you expect. And when you do that, you kind of develop a standard, right? So the standard at my business is that everybody does notes a certain way. The standard is that our therapy sessions are structured a certain way. The standard is that we use specific types of techniques or treatments that we know are evidence-based, right? So delivering quality services is definitely something that you should consider when you're, thinking about your customer service experience. And when you think about where you need to over deliver, those services need to be exceptional. And it's not easy. There are times when, maybe you hired a therapist and they just weren't a good fit. Maybe you yourself aren't a good fit for a particular client. So how you do that is you figure out, okay, how can I ensure that this person gets what they need, even if I'm not able to provide it, or even if this therapist that they were working with is not able to provide what they need, right? But always have a commitment to quality and constantly talk to your team about why it is important that you have that commitment to quality as a team. And when you're interacting with your clients, tell them what are the processes that you have in place to ensure quality services. One of the things that we share with our clients is that all of our supervising SLPs have lots of experience. We hire supervisors who can help our SLPAs and our assistants become better clinicians because of the extensive experience that they have. Another thing that we share is that we have tons of resources in our clinic. So our therapists are never going to be without resources that can help their child. So as you start to, think about how to over deliver in customer service, explain what you're doing in those areas to your clients, because that really does make a difference when they know that you care and that you're actively looking for ways to improve their experience and the services that they're being offered. So when I think about the services that we offer, one of the things that really stands out to me is our school contracts. So I strategically hired therapists that loved working in the schools, that knew special education, that had success working with high caseloads and with clients or students with multiple needs. And as a result of that, I built a really strong team of therapists to go work in a rural school district. And the feedback that we have received has been phenomenal. One of my therapists was actually given an award, and this award is usually only given to teachers, but she did such a great job as an SLP working through us as a contractor that they decided to give her this award. So trust me, those clients that you serve, it could be individual clients or it could be school districts or other people that you have contracts with. They really do appreciate when you go above and beyond and when you over deliver in the area of customer service. And as a result of that, we've been able to renew our contracts year after year because they know what to expect when it comes to what they receive from our team. All right, we are down to the final thing that I want to share when it comes to over delivering in business. So the third thing that I want to share is follow-up and support. And this applies to both your clients and it applies to your therapist. So I am someone who thrives on receiving follow-up and receiving feedback. And when I don't receive feedback, I start to wonder, am I doing a good job? Is the work that I'm doing being, acknowledged or appreciated? Do people know that I'm putting in all of this work to make sure that, I'm delivering good services as a clinician, right? I used to think that a lot when I worked at clinics and when I worked in schools where there was no feedback or there was no follow-up. So one of the things that you can start doing is providing feedback to your clinicians if you have a team, because that feedback is going to help them improve with their interactions with their clients and with their therapy services. So I over deliver on feedback. People might not always want to receive feedback, but I over deliver in that area because there's always room for growth. And every person on my team knows that when I give feedback, it's in no way to disparage them or to belittle them or anything like that. And I'm never rude or condescending when I give feedback, but I give genuine feedback so that we can all become better. And so that is a part of the culture at my organization, is knowing how to receive feedback without taking offense and using that feedback to become even more effective, right? So along the lines of feedback also comes follow-up, right? So when you give feedback, then you want to follow up and say, is there any other area that you need support in that we haven't talked about? Because I see that you've taken my feedback and you're doing a great job. And I just want to make sure that you feel supported, right, as you make these changes, or that you feel supported as you decide to start learning this new, therapy technique. So if someone decides they want to start doing feeding, right, your feedback could be, great, I think that you'd be an awesome clinician at feeding. Let me see how we can help you become, more proficient at it so that you can start seeing clients, or whatever your feedback may be. But you also want to follow up and make sure that after they took the course or after they did more research, that they feel supported enough to actually start implementing. And you want to over deliver on following up with people, because a lot of times when we don't follow up, it comes across that maybe we really don't care. So having that follow up is so important. I always over deliver on that. When I go to conferences and I meet people, one of the first things I try to do is follow up with people. And even if, it's been a while, sometimes I forget, I still go back and I follow up. Same thing with therapists. If they tell me they have a problem, even if I have to delegate that to someone else to help them, I'll ask that person, hey, was this resolved, right? So you as a leader need to follow up and over deliver on your follow up. That shows people that you care. The same thing applies to our clients. We have clients that sometimes have issues, right? Maybe it's not a good fit with their therapist. Maybe there's something that they were expecting to see in their child's progress that they're not seeing. Make sure you follow up, offer a solution, and then follow up and say, hey, I just wanted to check in and see if this was working for you. That is a game changer for your customer experience. And this is what I mean by going above and beyond, because some people just will simply forget or they won't make it a priority to follow up. And by you taking that extra step to over deliver in your follow up, that's going to mean everything to your client. And that communicates, again, that you care, that you're invested, and that you really want to see their child grow. All right. So in conclusion, these are the 3 areas where I over deliver in my business, and I think you should over deliver too. First is customer service. Second is the quality of your services. And third is your follow-up and support. And I want to share these final thoughts that showing up and over-delivering in business is going to provide so many long-term and lasting benefits in your business. Like I mentioned with that school district that I've been working with, we over-delivered on the quality of our services. We over-deliver on our feedback and support. We've had a contract now for several years because of how we approached the district and how we approached the way that we wanted to provide that service to them, right? The way that we over-delivered what we provided to this district. So here's what I want to encourage you guys to do. I want to encourage you to identify a few areas in your own business where you can start over-delivering. Is it your customer service? Is it your follow-up? Is it the service delivery and the quality of your services? Think about some areas where you're just doing an okay job, but you really can kick it up a notch. And I promise you, by thinking about just a few tweaks that you can make, some extra emails that you could send, maybe just a couple extra phone calls, that it's going to make a lasting impact in your business. So those are the 3 areas where I like to over deliver. Trust me, it's not always easy, right, to go that extra mile. But when you think about being better than the competition, a lot of your competitors are not doing these things. So if you want to be at the top and you want to outrun the competition, then think about ways that you can over deliver. So that is my episode for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm so excited for the rebranding that's taking place with this podcast, and that I actually get to be on video while I talk to you guys. I used to just have my phone up and I was talking to my phone, but now I have an actual camera and you guys can see me. And so keep watching, keep tuning in, because this rebrand is one of the biggest projects I've ever worked on for my community. And I'm so excited to bring you more of this conversation about business and growth and how we can all level up together.